All right, I'm going to go through a quick mini lesson here. This is with multi-step equations, or really solving equations, basic equations in general. Basic rules, I want to get my x's on one of the two sides. Okay, I want to get my non-x's or my non-variable, okay, on the opposite side. So they have to be on opposite sides. One thing I do to help myself is I'll draw a line where the equal sign is so I can split up the two sides. And my first goal is to simplify. I'm not even worried about solving yet. I'm just organizing the information. So number one here, on the left side, I see that there's a 293. It's only a single number. Okay, there's really nothing to do right there. Okay, so I move on, and I look at the right side. On the right side, I see that there's a distributive property. Now refrain from looking at that 3 plus 5 and getting too excited and adding those together. I need to distribute first. So this would be 5 times 7x. So the 3, drop it down. 5 times 7x be 35x. 5 times 2 is positive 10. Now I'm still not finished with that right side because I have two terms that are like terms, the 3 and the 10. So I need to combine those two. 3 plus 10 is 13. So on my right side, I have 13 plus 35x. On my left side, I still have the 293. And now it's time to solve. Okay, I have it organized. Now my goal is to get my x's and my non-x's on opposite sides. So this 13 here, I need to make sure I move that. Okay, I already have only x's on the right, so I'm going to move the 13. It's positive. So I'm going to go minus 13 on both sides. On the left side, that's going to give me 280. And that's going to cancel out. On the right side, it leaves me with 35x. Okay, so finally my last step, once I get them on opposite sides, I'm going to need to divide. Okay, I'm dividing both sides by 35, and I apologize, I'm running out of space here. But 280 divided by 35 is 8. So I'll put it off the side here. I don't like doing this. Let me drop this down here. So x, or 8 equals x. And that would be my first one. Okay. Number 2. Similar idea. But on this particular one, okay, first thing, I mean, it's a slightly different problem, but first thing, there's my equal sign. Okay, I want to make sure I simplify first, so I look at the left side. I am unable to add a 15 and a 5/8. Those are not like terms, so I cannot add those together. So the left side's done. I go to the right side. Need to simplify. There's nothing to distribute, but these are like terms. They both have an a on them. So 2a plus 6a is 8a. Now, there's various ways to then go ahead and get this answer. Okay. Personally, what I like to do is stay consistent. And in this particular scenario, I like to make sure I get my a's on one side, my non-a's on the other. Now, what I notice is that I already just have a's on the right-hand side. So I'm going to move my 5a to the right. It's a positive 5a. So I'm going to add a negative 5a. That's going to be 0. On the left, that leaves me with 15. On the right, that leaves me with 3a. And from here, divide both sides by 3. And 5 equals a. Would be my final answer. Okay, let's go ahead and look at 2 more of these here. Okay, so let's look at this particular one, number 3. There's my equal sign. And I want to look at the left side first. Now look, there's no distributive property here, but I do have like terms. Have negative 5 and negative 2, so I'm going to combine those two. Negative 5 plus negative 2 is negative 7. That side's done. The right side, it's only a 5, so that side's done. And now I need to solve this. My n's are already on the left. Okay, so I'm going to leave that negative 6n alone, and I'm going to move the negative 7. So negative 7, so I need a positive 7 on both sides. I need to add 7. Okay, those will add up to 0. We move negative 6n. 5 plus 7 is 12. And that's once they're on opposite sides, then we can divide. Divide by negative 6, that cancels out, gives me n. 12 divided by negative 6 is negative 2. Okay, last one here. Make sure I'm not covering anything up. Okay, this is the biggest one that we have. Okay, we just follow the process. Okay, so left side. Distribute, combine like terms. So distribute first. Now notice this 1 is not inside the parenthesis. So I'm not going to multiply that 1 by the negative 8. So negative 8 times 6x, that's negative 48x. Negative 8 times negative 8, that is a negative 8 there. That is positive 64. And then I drop down the 1, plus 1. Combine my like terms. These are like terms, 64 and 1. So I'm going to add those together, and I get 65. So my left side's done. I go to my right side. I don't have distributive property, and negative 17 and negative 7x are not like terms. So I'm just going to drop these down. And now it's time to solve. So as my organized step, I want to get my x's on one side, my numbers on the other. Now I like to do it all at once. That's just me personally. Okay, if I'm going to move my x's to the left. Okay, so I have this negative 7x. I'm going to move it to the left. And I'm going to add 7x to both sides. Now what that's going to do is remove my x's from the right side. I still need to move the 65. Okay, so I'm going to move my 65 to the left because I want to get my numbers together. It's a positive 65. So I'm going to add a negative 65 to both sides. Excuse me. And that's going to be 0. So when I add these together, this is going to give me negative 41x equals negative 82. I divide both sides by negative 41. And x equals 2. Okay? Those are our 4 example problems. What you guys will be doing now is you're going to be working on a worksheet. Okay, so if you have questions, please make sure that you ask. Okay, the whole goal is to make sure that we have this concept down before we move on to other things that are going to be on the ECA. All right, have a great day.